In the bustling city of Luma Heights, Zara ruled her world. At 25, she was a stunning slay queen, caramel-skinned, tall, with hair that shimmered under the city lights. Her style was flawless, and she moved with a confidence that screamed, "Queen." Everywhere she went, people stopped to stare. But Zara had a secret. She loved living in a dirty apartment. Her apartment was chaos personified. Clothes were scattered across the floor like a never-ending rainbow of fabrics. Bras and underwear were piled on chairs, beds, and even the bathroom counter. Some she wore for days without washing. Plates with leftover food were stacked in the sink, forming small towers. Cockroaches and ants had made her kitchen their playground. Mosquitoes buzzed around her head like tiny helicopters, but she ignored them. The bathroom smelled like it had been abandoned for months, and the trash overflowed into corners. For anyone else, it would be unbearable. But for Zara, it was a kingdom where she was the queen, free to do as she pleased. Her friends often called her, teasing, "Zara, girl, how do you live like that?" She would toss her hair and laugh. "Mess is my vibe. Don't judge." Zara liked the control it gave her. No rules, no interruptions, no one telling her what to do. Independence, freedom, and chaos were her comfort. She could slay, shine, and still ignore hygiene without guilt. The city outside buzzed with life, horns blaring, neon lights flickering, people rushing to work, but inside her apartment, she was untouchable. Yet, deep down, Zara knew her lifestyle was extreme. She sometimes wondered if it would ever catch up with her. One evening, as she scrolled through her phone, she noticed a new neighbor moving in across the hall. Little did she know, this neighbor would challenge everything she thought about her perfect, messy life. Fate, as always, had a funny way of catching up, and Zara's messy paradise was about to collide with someone who could change everything. The next morning, the quiet hallway of Zara's building buzzed with life. A moving truck parked outside, and Zara peeked through her blinds. A tall, handsome man was carrying boxes into the apartment next door. His hair was neatly trimmed, and his eyes sparkled with warmth. His smile was effortless, the kind that made people instantly comfortable. Her curiosity piqued. Who was he? Why was he moving here? His name was Daniel. From the first moment, he brought life to the building. He greeted neighbors politely, watered the plants outside, and moved with a calm confidence Zara found intriguing. She watched him from her window, noting how careful he was not to drop anything, how he laughed at small accidents, and how he seemed to notice everyone around him. Their first meeting happened by chance. Zara had tripped over a stray shoe in the hallway, and a bag of groceries fell from her hands. Daniel rushed over, helping her pick up the items. "I'm so sorry," he said, his voice gentle. "Are you okay?" Zara laughed, brushing off the embarrassment. "I'm fine. Don't worry about me." Something about his genuine kindness made her heart flutter. Over the next few weeks, they started talking more. Short greetings turned into long chats in the hallway. They shared jokes, late-night texts, and coffee runs became a regular thing. Daniel seemed to like her not just for her beauty, but for her humor, intelligence, and charm. Yet, Zara was careful. She avoided letting him into her apartment at all costs. "Maybe next time," she'd say with a playful smile. "My place. It's a disaster." Daniel would shrug, laughing, but his curiosity grew. Every excuse she gave made him wonder more. Zara thought she had mastered hiding her messy secret, but Daniel's kind, persistent nature was about to test her theory. Zara and Daniel's friendship grew outside the confines of her messy apartment. They explored the city together, hopping between cafes, rooftop bars, and art exhibitions. The city pulsed around them, neon signs reflecting off Zara's glowing skin, music blending with car horns, laughter spilling into the streets. Zara thrived in the chaos of the city. She loved the nightlife, the energy, and the attention. Daniel loved being around her, admiring her wit, her style, and the way she carried herself. They joked, shared secrets, and took selfies on the rooftops, feeling unstoppable. Yet, no matter how close they got, Zara always kept one boundary. She never invited Daniel home. She always had an excuse. "City life is more fun outside," she said with a mischievous grin. But inside, Zara's apartment was a ticking time bomb. Dirty laundry blocked walkways, dishes piled high in the sink, Cockroaches ran wild across countertops, and mosquitoes buzzed relentlessly. Zara wore the same bras and underwear for days, proud of her independence. Daniel couldn't help but wonder what she was hiding. Was it just messy, or something more? Every skipped invitation made his curiosity stronger. Zara felt untouchable in her chaos. She believed her messy apartment didn't define her. But she couldn't shake the feeling that the city's pulse was changing. Something, or someone, was about to push her boundaries and challenge her carefully constructed world. Zara's birthday was approaching, and Daniel had something special in mind. Not just gifts, but a gesture worthy of Zara, the queen of style and chaos. He booked a small rooftop terrace, ordered her favorite chocolate cake, and invited a few close friends to celebrate. But the biggest part of his plan was secret. He wanted to see her apartment. Weeks of curiosity had built up inside him. Why did she always avoid letting him in? What was she hiding behind that locked door? He decided that her birthday was the perfect moment to satisfy his curiosity. Meanwhile, Zara was blissfully unaware. She was planning her birthday outfit, a shimmering gold dress that would make every neighbor stop in awe. She felt on top of the world, excited for the celebration and the city's energy around her. Her friends called to confirm the plans. "Zara, are you ready to slay the city on your birthday?" "Absolutely," she replied, tossing her hair. She was confident, radiant, and unbothered by anything else, except perhaps the small voice in her head telling her to hide her messy apartment a little better. As she prepared, she didn't suspect that Daniel's surprise would test her limits. The excitement she felt about her party was about to collide with a challenge she hadn't faced before, the reality of her messy kingdom. On the morning of her birthday, Zara's phone buzzed. A message from Daniel: "Meet me downstairs. I have a surprise." Her heart raced with excitement. She quickly dressed in her gold dress, applied her makeup with care, and strutted out of her apartment, feeling like the queen of Luma Heights. Downstairs, Daniel greeted her with a warm smile. "Happy birthday, Zara. I have a gift for you." Before she could respond, Daniel glanced toward her apartment. Something inside him pushed him to act. "Can I come in?" "I'd like to give you your gift properly," he said, his voice gentle but insistent. Zara froze. Panic washed over her. "My place, it's a mess. Really messy. Maybe another time." Daniel smiled, undeterred. "I don't care about the mess. I just want to see you." Her heart skipped a beat. Months of hiding her chaos, of keeping her independence, were about to face a test. She realized she couldn't avoid the truth any longer. With a shaky hand, she opened the door. Her gold dress shimmered under the sunlight streaming through the window. Inside, chaos awaited, clothes scattered everywhere, dishes piled high, and cockroaches scurrying across countertops. Mosquitoes buzzed relentlessly. Zara tried to laugh. "I warned you it's messy." Daniel stepped in, scanning the apartment carefully. He wasn't disgusted, just concerned. "Zara, this isn't safe," he finally said, his voice calm but serious. Pride and embarrassment collided inside her. She realized that for the first time, her messy kingdom might no longer feel like a safe place. Zara's heart pounded as Daniel stepped inside her apartment. For months, she had carefully avoided showing anyone her kingdom of chaos. Now it was fully exposed. Dirty clothes were everywhere, on the bed, chairs, and even the bathroom counter. Plates with leftover food teetered in the sink, forming miniature towers. Cockroaches scattered at their arrival, disappearing into cracks and corners. Mosquitoes buzzed around her, undeterred by her attempts to swat them. Zara tried to laugh. "I told you it's messy." "Really messy," she said, hoping humor would cover her embarrassment. Daniel didn't laugh. He looked around quietly, taking in the mess. He wasn't disgusted. He was concerned. "Zara," he said gently, "this isn't just messy. It's unsafe. Mosquitoes carry diseases, cockroaches spread bacteria, and the food left out can make you sick." Zara's cheeks flushed crimson. Pride and embarrassment collided. For the first time, she felt exposed, not just in front of Daniel, but to the reality she had ignored for years. I like my independence," she murmured. "I like freedom." "Freedom is important," Daniel replied softly, "but freedom without responsibility can be dangerous." "I care about you, Zara." That's why I needed to see this. I wasn't judging you. I wanted to understand. Zara felt a mix of relief and guilt. She had spent months hiding her messy life, thinking it made her powerful and untouchable. But Daniel's calm concern made her see her reality differently. The apartment that once felt like a kingdom now felt like a warning. It was beautiful to be independent, but dangerous to neglect self-care. And in that moment, Zara realized her messy paradise needed a change, whether she wanted it or not. Daniel sat Zara down on the edge of her bed. "Zara, you're beautiful, smart, and full of life," he began. "But this mess, it could hurt you. Mosquitoes, cockroaches, spoiled food, they're not harmless." Zara bit her lip, struggling with guilt. "I know, but I like the chaos. It's my vibe. My independence." Daniel reached for her hand. "I understand. Independence is powerful. But freedom doesn't mean risking your health. You can be independent and still take care of yourself." Zara's eyes filled with tears. No one had ever spoken to her like this before. Not judgment, not mockery, but concern. She realized Daniel wasn't angry. He was worried because he cared. She thought of the nights she had ignored buzzing mosquitoes, the mornings waking to cockroach sightings, and the small bites and illnesses she had brushed off. Her pride had made her blind to danger. I guess I didn't think it was that serious," she admitted. Daniel smiled gently. "It's okay. Recognizing the problem is the first step. You don't have to do this alone. I can help." Zara felt a mix of relief and hope. Maybe, just maybe, she could change. Maybe her independence didn't have to mean chaos. She could have control, freedom, and safety all at once. For the first time, Zara considered a life where her apartment reflected not just her style, but her care and respect for herself. That night, Zara lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. The apartment was quiet, but her thoughts were loud. Could she really change? Could she let go of the messy chaos she had cherished for years? She pictured her apartment sparkling, safe, and welcoming. She imagined walking barefoot on clean floors, cooking without fear of cockroaches, and hosting friends without shame. The thought was almost foreign, but exciting. By morning, Zara made a decision. She would try. She would embrace cleanliness, organization, and self-care, not because someone told her to, but because she wanted to live better, healthier, and happier. She armed herself with cleaning supplies, gloves, and determination. Daniel appeared at the door, carrying a basket of cleaning tools and snacks. "Ready?" he asked. Zara smiled. "Ready." The work began. Scrubbing, washing, organizing, and tossing out years of neglected clutter. She felt empowered with every swipe of the mop, every fold of laundry, and every clean plate. It wasn't just cleaning, it was reclaiming her life. Daniel cheered her on, guiding her through areas she had ignored for years. Together, they laughed at cockroaches scurrying away, celebrated small victories like a sparkling countertop, and made the task feel like an adventure. By the end of the day, Zara realized she was not giving up her independence, she was enhancing it. She could still be a slay queen, confident and free, but now she could also be responsible and safe. Days turned into a week, and Zara's apartment transformed completely. Every surface sparkled, floors gleamed, dishes were washed and neatly arranged. Clothes were folded, stored, or donated. The cockroaches and mosquitoes disappeared, and the air smelled fresh for the first time in years. Zara walked through her new apartment with pride. This was her kingdom, but now it was a safe and beautiful one. She realized that chaos had been fun in theory, but it had no place in her real life. She could still be stylish, bold, and a city queen, but she could also embrace order, safety, and self-respect. Daniel visited often, offering encouragement, helping with tricky corners, and laughing at minor setbacks. They made the process playful, turning chores into challenges, and shared jokes as they worked. By the end of the week, the apartment was unrecognizable. Her home now reflected who she truly wanted to be: independent, confident, stylish, and responsible. Zara felt empowered. She realized that taking care of her space was part of taking care of herself. Freedom wasn't about neglect, it was about choosing what was best for her life, body, and happiness. Her transformation was more than physical. It was emotional, mental, and spiritual. She had discovered a balance between independence and responsibility, chaos and order. Zara's birthday celebration arrived, this time in her sparkling clean apartment. Daniel helped her set up a few decorations and friends began arriving. The city lights streamed through the windows, reflecting on polished floors and neat furniture. They laughed, danced, and shared stories over cake and drinks. Zara felt alive, confident, and proud, but in a different way than before. Her beauty, style, and energy were still undeniable, but now her home matched her inner strength. After everyone left, Zara and Daniel sat on the balcony, watching the city pulse below. "Thank you for helping me," she said softly. "I didn't realize how much I needed this." Daniel smiled. "You didn't need me. You needed to see that caring for yourself doesn't make you weak. Independence is powerful, but taking care of yourself and your space shows true strength." Zara nodded. She realized the truth. Beauty wasn't just about appearance. It was about self-care, respect, and responsibility. Chaos may feel fun, but safety, cleanliness, and mindfulness created a life worth living. From that day, Zara maintained her apartment, balancing her slay queen life with responsibility. She embraced her independence, not as an excuse for mess, but as a tool to live freely and wisely. Independence and freedom are valuable, but they are most powerful when balanced with self-care, responsibility, and respect for yourself and your surroundings. True strength lies in knowing that taking care of your life, health, and environment does not make you less independent. It makes you unstoppable. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe for more amazing stories like this one.